Hey y'all, what's up? This is Rosie. As y'all are perfectly aware of, it's 2024 and the Satanic Panic has not ended, sadly. An author should not feel the need to speak up on their channel and defend their right to write what they want to. They shouldn't have to defend themselves against overzealous Christian people who want to call them evil, who want to say they are trying to bring people over to the devil and all this other kind of stuff. And they haven't even read the book that this author has written. The book I am speaking of is called Shadow Walker, and the author in question is Victoria Shaw. Shadow Walker is a very good book. It's about the son of Satan who is fighting his inbred evil because of whose son he is and the humanity that he has gained because of the person who actually raised him, named Michael. And so he fights vampires. In this book there are vampires, witches, of course demons, werewolves, and it's all in one book. This book is nothing like Twilight or The Lost Boys or any other vampire story you may have known or heard of. It's very different. And it is a very good book. It's action-packed, and I loved it when I read it. And people may think that I read it and say I loved it just because she's a good friend of mine. She's my best friend, actually. But no, this is a genuinely good book. If I didn't think so, I wouldn't say so, because I'm a very honest person. And if I don't like something, I am not going to push it on somebody else. That's just how I am. I wouldn't speak on it at all. And if I didn't like it, I wouldn't say that I liked it, but I would still defend her right to write it. But it's the first of, I think, 3 novels that she has with these characters. And she, even before the book was released back in October, was bombarded with messages from Christians saying that they were going to warn people about her book and warn people about her and telling her that she's evil. She's gotten so many of these messages to this very day that she's had a friend, not me, but another friend of hers, to monitor her emails and messages just so she wouldn't have to read that stuff anymore. She even made a video addressing it, and she also has it in a blog. I will link both in the description at the end of this video. People, we are not your keepers. We're not spiritualists. We're not what do you call, I forgot what you call them, but we're not people who write religious books. We're not spiritual leaders. We're not, any of that stuff. She writes urban fantasy fiction and even dystopian novels. I write dark erotic romance with interracial characters. Some of the characters are not interracial, but some are. Most are, actually. But anyway, we're not looking to take you either up or down. We're just here to take you away from reality for a while. Last week, there was a Facebook post asking authors to, or people in general maybe, to describe what they do in 3 words. The 3 words I chose were I craft fantasies. And that's what we're doing. We craft fantasies. What we're looking to do is we're looking for you to turn on your devices or open the covers of our books and get lost in the worlds we created in the recesses of our minds. We're looking for you to look at these words and lose yourself in the fantasies we have created. You may get lost in a dystopian world full of vampires and witches and the like in her books, or a dystopian world where I don't know what that book's about, but she's going to release it soon, hopefully. And I haven't read it yet, so. But she wants to just bring people into her world. She wants to help you lose yourself in a story that you will most likely enjoy. And just to help out a little bit, I'm going to also link her novel in the description, both the Smashwords novel and her, the cover version, the book version. But anyway, what I'm trying to get across is we're not your keepers. I have some books that I'm revising and hoping to release soon, and I don't want people coming to me telling me that I'm nasty or that I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. I know my books are nasty. I know that my books are sexual because I wrote them that way. I wasn't holding anything back, and I'm not trying to hide that from anyone. If you read my books, it's because you have to like dark erotic fiction, dark erotic romance. You have to like that sort of stuff in order to read it. And I have a right to write that. Just like she has a right to craft the novels that she puts her heart, her soul, and her mind into. We type these words out and people think that we do it and that all we do is just write down words and that it doesn't affect us in any way when people don't leave us reviews or when people just put a 1-star review and walk away. You don't know how much those 1-star reviews hurt us, and you don't realize how it hurts us when you don't say in a non condescending manner that you suck or this wasn't good or this was shit. You think you can just say that shit to people and it doesn't hurt them. We're real, actual people. And we put our heart and our soul, blood, sweat, and tears into these novels, into these books. I have cried over a book I was writing last year and lost 2,000 words that it took me hours to write. It took me hours to think about. It took me hours to come up with these paragraphs, these new paragraphs on a story that I hadn't touched in months. And I lost those words and I cried over it. I blogged about it, okay? I have a blog about that. And I was so relieved when I remembered most of what I had written. I was relieved when I remembered the gist of what I was trying to say and came up with words I think were, if not identical, then even better than what I wrote the first time. I was so happy. And maybe about a week or so after that, I finished the book. Well, I'll say I finished the draft because I still have to revise it. You don't realize what an author goes through to write a book. It's not easy to come up with these words. We don't just make up words on the fly. Yeah, sure, we make it up as we go along, but these are actual stories that play like pictures and movies in our heads, and we write down what we see, and it's not easy. We get headaches from this shit. We get sick from this. And we are nervous every time we put a book out to the public for people to read. and to critique or criticize, which is worse. But we realize that our words, our books, our craft, our art is not for everybody, but we have as much right as anybody to write it. Nobody has the right to harass someone for their books, for their words. No one has the right to harass someone saying that they are evil. You don't know her. She's one of the kindest, most giving people I have ever met in my life. The type of person who, when I met her 20 years ago, she sent my oldest child a full box full of school supplies for their first day at school. She sent me just a couple of weeks ago a box full of huge foaming bath bombs and body butter because she knew that I love skincare but can't afford it, and was trying to raise some money to hopefully get myself some. But every penny that I get has to go on bills. And so she sent me something, and it touched my heart. I almost cried. That's the type of person she is. And if that's evil, then I feel sorry for you. She should not have to defend herself over the books that she writes. She should not have to prove to people that she's not evil. She doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. She doesn't owe anybody anything. So, I just wanted to say, we're not your keepers. We're your storytellers. And if you can just take our books for what they are, basically entertainment, then you're doing us a great deal of service. And with that, you guys, I'm going to go. As usual, there is a donations link in the description, and check out her blog, check out her video, check out her work. She's awesome. And I'm not just saying that. Anyway, I hope to see you guys on the next upload. Love you very, very much. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.